Warning, heavy lasagna accent. Turn on your subtitles now.
Whoops. Hello everyone, I'm Philux, current main big coder of the mod, so to speak. I'll be doing the old quirky devlog routine a lot of channels these days do apparently. I'll try to be short and I will probably fail. So, first, what I know people will want to know about. Vestige, Chapter 3 and all that jazz. I won't give a release date, even with the gun pointed at my head, I'm sorry. You have seen what happens when we give release dates too early. But I want to make one thing very clear. We are not starting from scratch for Vestige. We have already a lot of work done. Mostly features, like 2 of its biggest features you haven't seen anything about yet. I've basically already coded. They will need to be improved, polished and also internally worked for technical reasons, but a lot of the work is done. The main thing I want to put across is we have done already a lot of stuff for Vestige. We are not starting from zero. Don't think that we are starting work on Vestige now and so it will take 6 years. Don't expect it tomorrow, but also don't expect it in 10 years either. 2 bosses for Vestige are already coded. Again, bearing improvements, fixes, polish and so on. And one is, some of the enemy families for Vestige are also done. We have shown some of them. Missing work is improvement, polish, like it has been for the Divinity update, and also enemies and the other bosses, so mostly specific content like enemies, creatures, items and so on. So, I repeat myself because this is very important, I want this to get across. Don't expect it tomorrow, don't expect it in 10 years. And we won't give a date before it's almost out. Next, the update. I hope you've been enjoying the update. You probably noticed it doesn't have double the content like some other mods did. For example, Finfolio. Have you heard of Finfolio? How have you not heard of Finfolio? It's amazing. They have 1,000 enemies or something. Every floor is unique. Try it out, check it out, do it. Anyways, Divinity update doesn't have a lot of new content per se, but 90% of the work in the update has been improving and reworking and rebalancing the mod to make it more enjoyable, because a lot of common complaints about the mod were artificial difficulty, so to speak, which was never the intent. We just wanted a more difficult mod than base game, but not too difficult and not unfairly so. I made the 2 big examples of this. You can see the full changelog in case you're not curious. First, we removed, streamlined or otherwise reworked most of the invisibility mechanics used by monsters and bosses in the mod. For example, my boy Chuck, who was one of the main culprits of this, now has a completely different fight pattern. And another example which didn't have a complete rework is Sarcophagus, another big culprit of this, who has now more windows when you can hit him with normal tiers, and also the buttons for the boulders are more obvious and more often up. Another big change similar to this is Vanity, you know the name of the update, because the shine system was another part of the mod a lot of people didn't really like with how it was forced on you. So, taking inspiration from other roguelike games like Hades and so on, we try to make it an optional challenge that gives you rewards. We hope it makes it more fun. Also, one last important thing about this is, when I say a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people complained, I don't just mean people complained so we change it. I also, mostly, but also mean we didn't like it and so we change it. I hope you know why this is an important distinction to make. So, in short, the Vanity update contains some new content, yes, but mostly a lot of improvements, polish, balance and fixes to existing parts of the mod. Next, so some information about future content of the mod, because we are going to push out some content before Vestige comes. As I said, it will take a while to finish. For example, tainted characters will come as another patch before Vestige. They are not in the mod yet. For a simple reason, as I said, most of the work here for the Vanity update has been fixing and making the mod easier to work on in the future, and it's very tiring work, and because of COVID and, life, especially the coder part of the team of the mod was a skeleton crew for a lot of the dev time of the Divinity update. Because, as I need to make this very clear, for all modders this is an hobby for us, and so if someone has a life in the way, someone has university, has work, they will have that as a priority, and that's the right thing to do. And I'm saying this very seriously. But that aside, as I said, that's reason for you to expect new content. Look at the bright side of it. This patch won't be the last thing you see before Vestige. We push out some new monsters, maybe items, you'll see. Then a warning for users of mods in general, because I know this will be one of the most common bug reports in the mod, because of course it will. Apparently, and it's always been the case, mind you, we just as a community, as modders in general, not only Revelations, just recently discovered it. The engine of Isaac has a big limit on how much stuff it can add at once. Now that Repentance added a lot of content, and now that big mods are coming out for Repentance, it has been discovered that too many big mods, even if they perfectly work fine together, there are no incompatibilities in the code and so on, they will start having sprite errors because the game physically cannot handle too many sprites. Because, I don't know how to put it gently, it is badly optimized, the game, and also mods were never optimized too much with this in mind, because we had no idea there was such a limit in the game. Do not harass developers of the game about this, because the current developers of the game cannot do much about it, from what I know. I just mean, do not use too many mods. If you get black sprites and so on, take away some mods. I am very sorry for this, because I really wanted myself to play with, for example, Fin Folly, as I said before, and also Retribution and other mods. We are trying to make Rive compatible with as much stuff as possible, because simply but it's fun to have a lot of content in the game. But also do mind that overloading the game will, other than performance hits and so on, will make some sprites just don't load. You get black squares instead of sprites, you get invisible sprites and so on. Fun fact, one of the big main things that has these issues in Revelations, if you have other mods on, is a stupid Easter egg. If you find it, good job. Anyways, yes, make sure you don't have too many mods, or at least you can try, but if you start getting black squares instead of sprites, invisible sprites and so on, take away some mods. There is nothing we can do about it except try to make the mod more optimized, and we tried. Hello, Future Philoax here, with the Tainted Cane version of the mask that has eye slits because they used it as an Halloween mask. To make a next announcement, there have been a lot of bug reports of like incredibly game-breaking bugs. So if you get a bug that makes you think, how can the mod be this broken or release? Why is everyone else playing it normally, it doesn't work for me? Why has my PC gained sentience and exploded and slapped me in the face? It's very likely an issue with the Isaac Workshop that has download errors like half of the time. Some people apparently have them because they close the game while the mod is downloading, so don't. Please. But still, if you didn't do that, you're good. Try deleting the mod and downloading it again. Or even better, use our download mirror linked in the description on GitHub, which should have a surefire way to download the mod without any issues. We know it's annoying, it's counterintuitive, you expect to hit subscribe, by the way, hit subscribe and have the mod playable. It isn't always the case, it's not our fault, it's just the Isaac Workshop being a nice guy, very reliable. Back to you, past Philoax. Thank you, future Philoax. Anyways, this is the end of the video. We have said all the news we needed to say. My head. So some thanks. First, the obligatory thanks to all of you that played our mod, because we love seeing the response, all the love you gave us, and also the not love. We love that people are playing our mod. And also, thank you for also some of the fan art, and I cannot see anything with this mask. I try to grab it. Oh god, where is it? Where is it? Okay, here. Fantastic. We even had someone make a plushie of Frost Rider. This is amazing, I would have never expected it. It's for sale on Etsy. Last time I checked, I don't know if it's still in stock, but it's very cool. Check Mooncat Art on Etsy, make sure to check them out. And also thanks to all of the dev team, because you know I'm the one speaking right now, but I want to thank all the other devs because they have been very helpful. First I need to thank Gammy, because he has absolutely carried the art department in the last 2 years. As much work as I did in code, he did in art. I need to thank him a lot. And also, all the other dev members, there are too many of them to mention explicitly. It's in my mind, I will mention everyone. Thank you to all the spiders, Gammy, the founder Ashkal, Becerra, Blorange Rhymes, John the Real John, Not Your Sagittarius, Origami, Peace and Pollo, who are new to the mod, Quartz, Snakebot, THX, Vermin. Then the coders, myself, Sentinel, the other founder, Badge MT, Dead Infinity, thank him also for Stage API, you know, Piper, Gavito, and the new coders, Hippo, Ferium, and and Gua Havel. Sound and music were Andrew, the composer. Thank him for all the amazing tracks the mod has, and also Happyhead has made various sound effects and also the 3D in the trailer. And finally the tester who makes and designer, we have L, Anonymous Koala, Books, Ballet, Bustin, Critz, Latum, Green, Jerb, Kind of Lovable, Melon, Minichibis, Pasta, Pixel, Pick Pseudo, Rubbish Shenanigans and Sunil B. Not everyone mentioned is still active in the mod, but I still need to thank all of them because they have done their part. The new coders and artists like Poya, who is responsible for the amazing Glacier graphical rework you can see in the update, and also Hippo and Ferium. In particular, Hippo is responsible for most of the boss improvements you see in the mod, and I'm serious. If you find a boss more fun than before, it's likely because of him. To Green, who made the wiki again, basically. And also thank you to the rest of the Isaac community because I tend to ask a lot of questions and I usually get them answered. Even if I've been doing this coding Isaac stuff for like much time has it been, I don't know. But the community still helps me a lot of times. Thank you to all of you, you know who you are. And that's it. That's the video. Enjoy the mod.